Hi, I'm Tom with the Vending Business Show, and I'm here with Larry Towner. And uh, when we talk about going to the next level with your business and getting new accounts, tell us the story how you got one of your early accounts, Larry.
Well, yeah. So we'll bring it into perspective here. So it was early on in my vending career, and I was, frantically out driving around looking for accounts. Well, one day I'm sitting in the convenience store, and I see this guy come out. He happened to be driving a truck. No big deal, but he's driving a truck. Well, I noticed he had a whole bag full of like vending type food. It was bags of potato chips and sodas and this and that. So, being that I was in the hunting, I was hunting basically, right? I went up and I talked to him. I said, so, hey, and I knew his place wasn't too far away from there. So I said, hey, you guys have vending at your place? And he said, yeah, we've got vending. He says, but man, that thing never works. And I'll leave the expletives out of it. He's like, and I said, well, I own a local company. I said, here, let me give you my card, and if you could pass it on to your manager. Well, man, I had a phone call within like a day. I mean, and I went down there and I met with him, and out that guy went, and the other vendor that was there, and we put our equipment in there and we took good care of him. Well, the next thing I'm getting phone calls. They had multiple facilities all over the place. I'm getting phone calls from every facility they had, and it was just kind of a way to do some networking, as it were, that I really wasn't planning on. And so we were talking earlier, time, and I was talking like when you get into really big companies, you do what I like to call for any. If you got, are you a fisherman? You a fisherman, Tom?
Oh yeah,
So do you ever go down like into the Keys where they throw a cast net, a big net like they try to catch bait?
I've seen those, but I've not done that. But yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Talking about. So this is my concept. I call it throwing a wide net, right? Because you see a lot of bait out there in the water, right? Which are your potential accounts, right? So how do you get into those accounts? Well, the way you get into those accounts, and I don't care what account it is, I don't care if it doesn't matter what account it is, you got to find somebody that works there. And how do you do that? You start talking to people. You talk to as many people as you can until you find somebody that works there. Then you ask them the same old qualification questions you always ask. Are you happy with your vending? Or hey, do you have vending? That's always the one I always start with. Do you have vending? And then are they happy? And that gives you an in. And then the other side to that is they will know who to talk to, who's the boss, who actually pulls the trigger. And we were talking too about sometimes, right? You don't really know who pulls the trigger. Where the owner is ultimately pulls the trigger, as I like to tell, this is one of my favorite stories. There's the janitor, and he's in there cleaning the boss's desk one afternoon, and he goes, well, boss, I sure would have liked that candy bar, but that machine rooked me again, and the boss goes, really? Tommy, I've known you for 25 years, and you've done a good job. He says, would you like a new vending company? And Tommy goes, I think that'd be pretty good, boss. And so the boss says to Tommy, says, you know what? We'll get a new vending company tomorrow. Oh, boss, you're the best. Can I empty your trash can while we're at it, boss? That sounds good, man. And I mean, that's like, you think that's a joke, right? But it's true, right? It's really true when you think about it. That sometimes you just don't know who really makes the decisions. That's why you have to take care of who, Tom? Everybody.
Everybody, yep.
Everybody. Because you don't know. You don't know. And you don't really ever know anyway. Um, in some of my other ventures, I always like to laugh. The guy that makes the decision squirreled away in a little cubby hole off. He's right in the bowels of the building, and it's like, where are we going here? This looks like the basement. It is. That's where he works. It's like bigger in the corner office, and we're going to the basement, right? But that's part of it. Do you have any questions, Tom?
Well, hey, that's some excellent tips. I guess we're going to be continuing in this next level with some new ideas, some additional stories, and everything. So I guess we'll have to stay tuned until next time. And you've been watching the Vending Business Show, a publication of A&M Equipment Sales.